What is going on, everyone? It is episode 3 of Start the Car, and I'm gonna go out on a limb and say that this is probably going to be the best one so far. I feel like they're getting better and better with each one, and I wish my car would just stop beeping for a second so I could talk. I actually already warmed up the car. I kind of faked that little startup right there because I was like, you know, start the car. I think they have been getting better with each one, which kind of sucks because the first one got the most views, and that's kind of how it always goes. And then I'm like, wait, can all of you guys watch this other one actually? And I'm gonna say hi to my grandpa real quick. Okay, sorry, I had to talk to my grandpa. Now I don't even know where I'm at. I'm confused. Well, I know where I'm at. I'm at my house. I mean, I don't know what I was talking about. I feel like these newer ones are getting better, and we're starting to actually get questions sent in. And I think I might do this on the next run. Post, you know, you see those people on the Instagram, they post the Ask Me Anything question BS on their story. I was kind of thinking I would do that, be like, ask questions for Start the Car, post it up on my Instagram. That's SpeedRacinJason too. If you don't follow it, you can go check that out. I'm SpeedRacinJason anywhere on the internet. But yeah, post that up and be like, hey, ask questions for Start the Car, and it'll be in the next video. But my good friend Tristan left a good question on the last one. He's been in a few of the YouTube videos, not Tristan Tally Tristan, but other Tristan. Honestly, like, I know it's a little confusing. I was kind of confused when I met him. I thought they were the same person, like, the first time I met him. And they both know this story, so it's okay. Like, I'm not, like, releasing any sort of details. I also started writing shit down because I watched that last video and I was like, man, you should really write the questions down and then write down your answers and stuff. So I went on a rampage, just started writing stuff. It's kind of just like a big old messy journal, but it is doing me a good amount of justice. Everyone says when you write stuff down, you remember it better. So that's kind of what I'm trying to do here. Is I wrote down the questions, and then I was gonna reread this real fast and then talk to you guys about those questions. I'm headed out to St. Helens right now to go work on that big job again. But St. Helens is about an hour and 10 minutes away. So I figured, what time would be better than to pull out the camera than right now? So I'm going to read all of this stuff I wrote down real fast, and then I'll turn back on the camera, and then we'll answer these questions from Tristan. I don't know, this is kind of crazy because this is the first time I've written anything down since I dropped out of PCC like a year and a half ago. The other day, by the way, this is a total different side thought, but I was kind of jealous and like butthurt. So I went to Portland State for this ladies dance competition type deal. It is a lady in my life, so I went and watched that and filmed it for her. And I was kind of like, man, I wish I would have had more of like any sort of college experience than all I had, because I went to PCC for one trimester, and I was like, not for me, and I was paying for it, and I was like, hey, if I'm paying for this, I should actually go or stop paying for it. And so that's what I did. But I was looking at my YouTube analytics the other day, and I have over 50,000 views on my channel, and I don't know if you guys know this, but like, that's pretty much Oregon State and U of O combined, like, of their population. So like, dropping out couldn't have been the worst idea, because like, I thought I was missing out on meeting all these people and stuff. And it's like, over the last couple of years, I've definitely done a lot of cool stuff, I feel like. And I feel like the majority of that reason is this YouTube channel. And like, when I saw those numbers, it made me pretty happy. I'm gonna be honest, because I was like, dude, college, like, eventually YouTube's gonna work out. And it's like, I'm not in a crazy amount of debt. And so that's the end of that thought. But I got back onto this book, and I think I'm just gonna read it to you guys of what his question was. So I wrote it down word for word. So, question for the next video: what are your plans for the 240? You have a build list yet? Or you have a build list made up yet? What events are you planning on going to this summer? Are you trying to catch some doors this summer? That's the last question. So I loved that, because first of all, it's a homie asking a question, so obviously like, we gotta talk about it. And for the second part of the reason I liked it is because it's like, dude, that's like 5 questions or 4 questions in one. So what I did is I like I wrote down like what I was just thinking about, and then I was like, okay, I gotta break down the questions over here because it was so many questions in one. So he was like, plans for the 240. And so that gets me into my first topic, I guess. I wrote down my answer over here, but realistically, me talking usually ends up just going better than me trying to reread what I was saying, because that's kind of boring for you guys. You don't want to watch me read. Like I said, I dropped out of college. I'm reading at like a 5th grade level. I'm just kidding. I can read decent. I also need to pull up the directions real fast. So let me just go like this. So the plans for the 240, I have another plan to eventually start making plans, if that almost kind of makes sense. Like I have a plan on what I want for the 240, but as you guys all know, parts cost money. So I kind of need a plan to make the money to get the parts. Like I have the list of parts in my head, like, oh, that's what I want first, you know, but I kind of need to make some more money, and so that's why I'm working really hard. Like right now, like I'm doing all this vinyl stuff. But on the topic of making more money, you guys know I was kind of hating my photo job. I quit, so that's dope. I quit yesterday on Friday. It was the last day of the pay period, and I was just like, honestly, like not too long ago, I almost quit because like there was no parking. Like I went down there and I almost was like over it just because I couldn't find a parking spot. So like if that puts you on the level of how much I was enjoying it. So on Friday, yesterday, I like went down there and it was just like the same. I like got down there, there's no parking, I'm not making all that much money working there, and I like get there and my boss kind of is like, you know, telling me, you know, like pictures aren't looking the best, and I'm like, yeah, no, you've all been there, I'm sure, when you're working a job that you're pretty much over, and then like stuff starts going wrong and you're just like, man, you're making this decision a lot easier for me right now. So then she's telling me, she's like, well, like I think like maybe it could be part of just like the phone, you know, so like maybe I'll be getting you like a new phone soon to like take pictures with, or da-da-da-da-da. And I was kind of just like, well, before you get that new phone, I was thinking about quitting pretty soon. So and she's like, well, kind of like when are you trying to do that? And I was pretty much like, well, ASAP, but I can kind of stay for however long you need me to, because I'm not trying to be a douchebag and be like, well, I'm quitting with no notice. But she pretty much told me I could, so it was pretty much just like, all right, well then today will be my last day. And I was like, and I was going out to St. Helens to go work on that vinyl job. And so she's like, well, what's the deal? You know, what are you doing like for work? Like, why are you going to St. Helens? And I told her, I was just like, well, I'm going out there to go work on my side business thing. This job, I'll end up charging the company more than what I made for a month of working with her. Do you see what I'm saying? And so like, I kind of told her that same thing. I'm just like, look, I don't really know what to tell you, but it's just like, I can't spend my time here. I can make more money doing other things, and I have been making money to do other things, but I've still been working around this BS job where it's like I'm barely making minimum wage. So kind of out on that one, so I quit. But that goes back to my question of the 240 and me not having like an abundance of money. Like I'm making money and I'm just trying to work as hard as possible, but I've kind of thought of this one idea. I've kind of pitched it to all my friends. But so the first thing I really want, for example, is a bucket seat. Like I really need a racing seat because I'm small, I weigh 118 pounds, and the 240 stock seat does not hold me down whatsoever. So if you guys have ridden in the car with me, it is pretty freaking funny. I like lean into the corners beforehand, and I'm like bracing myself up against the door, and I'm using my knees and like trying to just hold myself in place. So the first thing I really want to get is a bucket seat, and I'm using this for the example of my plan to make the money to do so. So like I want like the NRG seats. They're pretty cheap, they're 200 bucks. I sat in Romans out at the last Pat's Acres event, and I was like, these fit me really well, and for 200 bucks, totally solid for me. I don't street drive the car. I'm not a pro-am drifter, so I don't really care about the whole flack of like the NRG seats. So if you guys want to like maybe debate that in the comments with me. I mean, we could talk about it more. And I mean, if you guys have opinions, tell me, you know, like if you're like, hey, by the way, I had those seats and I snapped them while I was just driving down the road, I'm not going to go buy them. But like, they seem decent enough and they're pretty cheap. So $200. So I kind of thought about doing this thing where I make like my own little merch line per drift part. Do you see what I'm saying? So like, $200 is pretty easy for me to come up with, because if I'm selling t-shirts for $15, I can pretty much all day long get t-shirts for $5, like blank ones or less. And then with the materials and stuff, it ends up being like $5. So let's just say $15 per t-shirt, and then $5 of cost, you know, that gives me $10. So I was kind of thinking, I go out and buy 20 t-shirts, and then I make like a specific type of shirt more for like that kind of part. Like I'll make a design kind of relevant to a bucket or racing seat, and then it's like, okay, here's 20 t-shirts online on my website for sale, let me know. Or I just post them all over my Instagram and stuff, and it's like, hey, I want to buy one of those. And then once all of that, like every time I go sell one, what I do, since I already invested the money and I've already just kind of eaten the cost, I'll just take that money and put it into a jar, and then it's kind of like I can actively like keep you guys in touch of like how much money we're raising for the parts. And then once I get the part, I go and post a video of me installing it and doing like that type of thing, you know. So then it's like, you guys get a video, you guys get some of my merch, I get the drift parts I need. So it's kind of like a symbiotic relationship. It's like those birds that like live on the top of giraffes, you know, and they like eat the bugs like off the giraffes, and then the giraffes get like the bugs eaten off of them, but like the birds also get food. You see what I'm saying? Symbiotic. I think that's the word I'm trying to use. I learned it in like 8th grade science class, so like if that's not it, tell me. But I don't know, I'll probably Google it once I'm done talking and then be like, hey, dipshit, that's not the word you were trying to use, but whatever. So do you see what I'm saying? I think that would be kind of a cool idea, and I want you guys to like give me feedback on that and tell me what you guys would think about that. Like, is that something you guys would be interested in? If that's not, I'll just continue making like the normal SpeedRacinJason merch. But if you didn't listen to the first part of that conversation, the only times I'm making money now is from doing the SpeedRacinJason merch and my big vinyl jobs like this one. And I have like another 2 trucks lined up for next week, so like I should be making a good little chunk of money right here. That guy just waved at me, he saw the camera. I fucking love driving around with this camera. But yeah, so I don't know, tell me what you guys think of that, and I want to kind of hear what you guys think. So that gets me back to the questions. The first thing, like I just said, is a bucket seat. I really want to get something that holds me in. I might skip over the harnesses, I'm not really sure. We might come back to that later. I don't really know. I don't have a harness bar. I have a welder though, and so like, if y'all want to see me like try and figure that shit out, like let me know. I mean, that's a whole nother conversation, I guess. But after the racing seat, the next step for me, I feel, is a hydro setup. I really want to get the Villains weld up kit. You know, you buy like the bracket or whatever, and then you go buy the Willwood cylinder, and then you mount it all up, and then you have to get your own handbrake, like the handle for it. And so what I was thinking for the handle, like all the big YouTubers have like their own custom e-brakes and shit. And I know a guy with a CNC machine and like a machine shop. I'm sure like we can work something out where it's like I get this dope SpeedRacinJason handle, because that's like I said, all the big YouTubers like Adam LZ, Hoonigan, like Caleb Quambeck, I'm pretty sure Haggard had them for a while, I don't know. Like I just feel like that's all like the stuff that they have, and I'm not a big YouTuber yet, so like if you guys could tell more people, that would be tight. But I'm a YouTuber, so I have to have the name on the handle. Then it's after the hydro, in my head it was the Villains angle kit, because I need some angle, because I'm still running stock angle. I don't know. And that's the other thing, is all of this stuff is kind of up for debate. Like I haven't went and bought any of these parts yet. So I mean, if you guys think my list is wrong, tell me in the comments and we can talk about it. I've almost thought about getting the angle kit first. I'm not really sure how that goes, but after like those 3 basic, it gets down into like the bigger and more expensive stuff. Like I really want a new set of wheels, But on the same hand, like if I'm getting a new set, like I really want to just get the set I want, but that gets into the 3-piece territory, and that gets into a lot more money. But realistically, like I have over 1,000 subscribers, and so in my head, tell me if I'm wrong, but I'm like, okay, say a set of wheels is 1,200 bucks for a set of 3-piece wheels. Obviously, like some of my money, like my personal money, is going towards that too. But if I like make a dope shirt or a dope hoodie, and then it's like it has like a cool like 3-piece wheel, like relevant type design, I feel like I could sell enough of those to just go out and buy them, you know? Like I go out and buy the big supply of them, and then I'm just constantly selling them, trying to make money. And then, like I said, putting it into a jar or something so you guys can kind of actively keep up on it. I have a Patreon. Don't go check it out yet though, because I really need to go like work all of that out. I kind of just started setting it up, and then I was like, other things became more important, and then I got distracted. I don't know. I mean, I'm kind of hoping that you guys support me in my endeavors, and then you guys get more content. I'm still working, but I'm not working at that one job. So it's more of however much I can work, and how hard I work is how much money I'm gonna make. So it's kind of a different point in my life, I guess. But I'm totally looking forward to it. And on the same hand, I have more time to create you guys content, make more videos like this, edit. For example, on Monday, I don't have to go to work. But Monday comes around and it's like, I gotta do something. I have a lot of pretty crazy ideas coming up in the future. I brought it up in the last video, I believe, or maybe it was 2 Start the Car episodes ago, that I wanted to kind of do a drift livery on this car. And that's another kind of plan that I've had for a while, and I've talked to my friends about, and they're either on board or off board. I think it's a funny idea. And then I go buy a whole bunch of dope vinyls and stuff, and then I light up the side of this Caliber, and then it's kind of like almost like a funny version of like a drift livery. It'll say SpeedRacinJason in big letters, but that will be its own video. You know, that won't be a Start the Car video. That will be like how to drift livery or whatever the I call it at that point in time. But stuff like that, that'll take me like more than a couple days, you know, of me just like putting stickers on my car and like making sure I like it all. So I'm glad to not be working down there, because that was honestly kind of just a waste of my time, in my personal opinion. Sorry, I like the lady, she's a nice lady, and I liked working with Ethan. That was like the main reason I was still there, if I'm being completely honest. Getting back into it, I feel like I've kind of gotten off track a lot of different times in this video, but on the same hand, I always kind of eventually wrote back into what I was talking about before. So if it bothers you, I'm sorry. I'll try and get better at it. Like I said, I got the journal for exactly that reason. And the next question, what events I plan on be hitting this summer, and are you trying to catch some doors this summer? So I believe I'm drifting on the 31st of this month. I know that's not technically a summer event, but I thought I should let you guys all know that. So if you guys see me out there and I have the car, come try and get a ride along. I'll for sure let you hop in. I bet you guys are shocked right now. This is water, not Diet Pepsi. The summertime though is the best time for drift events. If you guys could not tell, last summer we hit it pretty hard. We went to like Villain Sportsland, we went to Takeover Northwest, and those are both like multiple hour-long road trips. And honestly, they're like my favorite videos. The group of my close friends, you know, that were like with me in that video, that are in the video, like Caleb, for example, always talks about the Villain Sportsland video. He says it's like his favorite, and it's probably like one of mine too. And I'm like so excited for this summer to go back out there, film even better quality videos than I did last time, because like I love the Villain Sportsland video because it has like the road trip up there, it has us like camping, it has us grilling burgers at like 2 o'clock in the morning on their drag strip, and us trying to jack their power from their generators, and then Nate from Villains Drift catching us and being like, hey, no, don't be using those, like come over here, I'll hook you guys up with an extension cord. It's just like a crazy video. And same thing with the Takeover Northwest one. I have like an ice cream cone on my head. There was a concert and stuff, and like the concert kind of sucked because nobody went to it. But this year I'm planning on like forcing everyone to try and go. Like, I mean, I don't have like a crazy following, but I highly recommend it because it would have been even more fun if all of you guys were there. But it was just as much fun with me and like my 8 friends and then like the 8 other people that were at the concert. I don't know, just come on out, dude. Those summer events are crazy. I'll be out at pretty much every single Pat's Acres event. I pretty much already am. Either if I'm drifting or not, I'm still out there at pretty much every single Pat's event or really close to it. I try and hit as many Spirit Peaks events as possible because those are like kind of the 2 closest tracks. I don't know, I feel like we, like as a friend group, we'll probably plan some pretty cool stuff this summer. It would be really cool to go to like an FD event. I've never been to one of those yet. And whether we want to go to Seattle or Long Beach, I would be totally fine with fucking either. I don't know, that all gets back into this, and I'm really hoping that maybe like this kind of starts blowing up a little bit more than it already has, because that would be crazy, right? Like if I just turned into like Mr. Beast and I was walking around and I had the kind of money I was able to like go give out $30,000 fucking dollars because I'm getting 18 million views on my videos, that would be sick. If you guys haven't noticed, SpeedRacinJason is kind of like the only thing in my life that I'm this involved with. I was like, before SpeedRacinJason, it was drifting and that's it. I mean, I had a whole bunch of other things that I did in the past, but it was mainly just drifting. Like that was the thing I was most interested in, the thing I wanted to keep doing. So when I started SpeedRacinJason and that fully revolved around drifting, it was kind of cool because I'm trying to turn SpeedRacinJason into like a career eventually. I mean, if I can, like that would be sick as fuck. And so it's like, I'm trying to eventually do that, and I'm always coming up with different and better ideas, or at least better in my head ideas of how I can do that. But all of the money gets kind of right back into the YouTube channel. I mean, it gets invested back into it. Like this summer when I was working construction and I was actually making a little bit of money, I was able to buy all the stuff to paint my car. I was able to buy this new camera. I mean, this was like an $800 camera when it first came out, which is a whole nother conversation. It's like $500 right now on Amazon, so them. It happened the same thing with my drone over the summer, same type of deal. I went and bought that, and that was like a $700 item, and then it's like it was $300 at Black Friday the next year. But that's a different gripe. But what I'm trying to get at is I invest the majority of my money back into this, and I'm constantly going out and buying bulk shipments of clothes. That's expensive, but it makes me more money, and then it all just kind of goes back into it. So what I'm saying is, I hope you guys know I'm fully invested in this shit, and I don't know, hopefully like we can do crazy things one day. I mean, we're 2 years strong right now, and that's what I'm really liking about this Start the Car series, is I feel like it's getting me more personable with you guys, and you guys are starting to like see me more often, and we kind of just get to have this like long form to like talk about whatever I want to talk about and whatever you guys want to talk about, because you guys are part of this show, or at least that's what I'm trying to accomplish with it, is you guys like leave comments and then I talk about those comments and I talk about the questions that you're leaving. So I think that kind of wraps up all of Tristan's comments and concerns or questions. The only thing I didn't answer was you trying to get some doors this summer, and I'll be completely honest, I am. And I mean, if you want to be the guy that lets me slam into his car, fucking, yeah, I'm trying to get some doors, dude. I don't know what else to say. I would strongly recommend for him though, maybe he lets me get some more events and more seat time in before we're trying to catch some doors. And on the same hand, I think he's probably at the same position, right? Like, I mean, are you trying to get some doors this summer? I mean, I hate to call you out like this in front of everyone, but are you trying to get some doors? I'm just kidding. I love you, Tristan. I love that you asked me such a good question, because it just turned into like a 25-minute conversation, and my camera is starting to get onto the low battery, so I'll probably turn it off, drive all the rest of the way out to St. Helens and go work on that. And I got the charger in here, so maybe I'll bust out the camera again. But this is a 25-minute long video, and I just told you guys I was trying to do like 15 in the last one, so I don't know, I pretty much doubled it. But on the same hand, I really enjoy this series, like, and I hope you guys do too. And if you do, please make sure to talk to me about it, tell me about it. I'm trying to let this guy cut over, and I hope you guys enjoyed. And if you did not, let me know. Like I said, holy fuck that guy. Fuck that guy, bro. He just had his turn signal on for like way too long, didn't even. I also want to get another camera set up in here so I can get some more angles. I've kind of thought about maybe filming with my phone. I don't know, like I said, I have all sorts of thoughts. They're all going through my head. I don't know. I don't even think I answered all of his questions good enough. If I didn't, ask him again, ask the questions that I kind of forgot to answer, and we can talk about it in the next one. I don't know. Enjoy. Okay, so I'm done at the St. Helens job because I had a sneaking feeling this was gonna happen, but like I said, I couldn't get those stickers off. So then I had a different plan of attack, which was, and that was to use one of these. It's called an eraser stone. You use it to get decals off of cars and stuff. But that door, it's made out of like a garage door material. It's like a vinyl-y plastic. And it totally rubbed through on some of the paint. So I called the guy that's kind of in charge of all of those miscellaneous activities. Like the guy who calls me and tells me, hey, I got this door I want you to do. I called him and he was just like, yeah, I had a feeling that was going to happen, and they are going to have it all sanded down and repainted for me, and then we're going to start over new, which is totally okay because it's going to look so much better. I don't know. I was kind of thinking I'd update you guys on how it went because I planned initially on having like some of those clips of me putting on the decals in the video, and now they're not in the video, and now I'm sitting in St. Helens and kind of think I should leave. But I also had like a really fun time on the way down here. Like I had enough fun that I'm like, dude, I kind of want to film another one. And then I started filming again and I was like, dude, you just talked for like 27 minutes. You're gonna end up being at like 30 by the time you start editing this, and people don't want to watch that. So if you guys would like me to just keep going, like how long are you guys willing to watch? I feel like 15 is kind of like where it's at. But like I said in the initial episode, I watch like 3-hour-long Rogan podcasts every day. So I don't know. Like I said, please leave comments, questions, discussion stuff in the comments of this video. I'll talk to you guys. If you haven't realized, by looking in the comments before, I respond to every single person that leaves anything, and I try and get a conversation going. If they don't want to have a conversation, that's fine, but I'll be down there. You know what I'm saying? I stalk it. So let me know. Bye bye. Have a great rest of your day. Wish me a safe drive on my way home. I got another hour and 10 minutes to drive home now. Peace.